Hey Krafty Friends, it's Jen from Katahdin Krafts, and I am excited to be back on the CottageCutz YouTube channel today. For this week's project, I created another Slimline card with the spring release. I absolutely love Slimline cards. I like the extra real estate they offer, so I do them often. And I love all the dies how they work well together, and I can get a nice layered scene. And to take care of probably the most exciting part of the video today, Linda Stencil has won the Bunny Express engine die from last week. So Linda, I will have all that information for you to contact Mary below. Send her an email and she will send out that die for you. And for this week, we are giving away the spring sheep. In order to qualify to win, please like and comment on my video below. And of course, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, we would love for you to do so. All right, let's start getting right into our project. Okay, as you can see, I am using that spring chicken die today. It is super adorable. And I'm also using the spring sheep. I'm using a few of the elements from Spring Sentiments. I'm also using Sweet Wishes. Both of those are the shadow dies. I'm using the grass slimline, which I've already cut a strip of that, and the cloud slimline, which I've made a stencil. I made this for my last project and I'm going to use it again today. And I'm also using the windows slimline die. And I've already cut that in white, and that is going to be the little frame for my scenes. All right, so what I have done is I backed my cardstock with some sticky back paper, and then I went ahead and ran that through my die machine, and that helps keep all of these little detail pieces all together. And so now I'm going to go ahead and color all of that off of screen because it's very color intensive, so just use the colors that you like. You can always use the packaging, which comes in full color, for inspiration. And I always do use the packaging when I'm assembling my die cuts. It just helps with placement. So I'm going to keep that right beside me as I pop out all of these little pieces and assemble these adorable little sheep. And they are so sweet. I love them. And for these, I did use a warm gray. Oh no, I'm sorry. I used a cool gray. A warm gray would have worked really nice though as well. And another thing that I really love about these dies is that they do some embossing as they go. So therefore, like this eyes that I'm coloring in and the mouth, they're already depressed into your cardstock. So you have the placement of where you should color those in, which is super helpful. And it just has more of those details that I love so much from CottageCutz. And now I'm just going to add a few little highlights with my white gel pen. It's hit or miss with me in the white gel pen. Some days I can do pretty well. Some days I get a thicker line than I want. So I use it very sparingly because I get super frustrated. So that is a little Jen thing that you now know, that the white gel pen, I love it, but it does frustrate me. So I went ahead and assembled all the other pieces off a screen. But now you can see how super cute they come out. I love this. I love the whole paper piecing, feeling like a puzzle when you put these together. And I love that sign. Isn't that sign with that vine just super adorable? Love it. So I'm going to set all of that aside now and I'm going to work on my background. I went ahead, like I said before, and cut out the window slimline. And now I'm just going to mark it just so I have a vague idea of where I wanted my sky, which turned out that I didn't really need to mark it, I guess, because I am going to go on the edges and let that overhang a little bit just for that's the type of look I decided to do. I'm using my tumbled glass and my spun sugar, which are my favorite sky colors. And I am using that homemade stencil again this week for my sky with the cloud slimline die. I like the effect that this gives. You can turn it and use it on either direction. Now I'm using a little bit of squeezed lemonade. I wanted to get a little bit more dimension in my sky, but honestly, I wasn't in love with this look after I did it. So I am going to add something to the card to kind of hide that. So, plan B. But now I'm using Twisted Citron and Mowed Lawn on the bottom, and that is just for my grassy effect. Again, I like layering cards, so this is all the background, and then I'm going to still have some more grassy effects on the foreground. So just one more layer of that tumbled glass to kind of blend everything down, and then I'm going to work on my grass. And I'm going to use my YG Copic markers to flick on my little grass blades. I like the effect that this is giving. It gives it a little bit more dimension. I'm going to show you another section because when I'm doing this first section, I forgot to put my caps right there for you to see them. So I will do another section so you can see. So I am using the YG23, YG25, and then YG17 for that darker shade. And then I'm going to go back and use the YG23 and smooth all of that. And now how I decided to mask the part of my horizon that I didn't care for was using the mountain range from the Mountain and Tree Slimline dies. And I just used some warm grays to color that. And I'm going to put that behind my grass that I'm using on the frame. And that covers up that section that I didn't care for when I added that yellow, which kind of made green and made a green sky because, you know, the nature of color, blue and yellow make green. So I should have known that when I added it. I went a little too heavy with that yellow. So no problem. Everything can be fixed with a plan B. When I'm adhering the mountain range and the grass, I'm not worrying about the overhang because I will be able to snip that right off and make that flush. And now I can glue down my frame to my background, which I actually think that the mountain range really did add a nice layer to the card. So, you know, that was it was a happy mistake. So there, that worked out. Okay, so putting my card together, I tried to be conscious as I was sliding pieces in and out and gluing and sticking everything down, not to push too hard yet, not to get everything firmly in place because I knew that I wanted to slide things under for that layered look that I was going for. And sometimes it was smoother than others, but I have a tool that I love to use that I slid underneath there. So any thin tool that you have in your stash would work to get underneath the paper. And if you can see on the background, I am using my sticky mat for some of my smaller pieces that I just didn't want to lose. So I'm just picking those off like these little flowers as I'm assembling. That's just a tool that I'm using to help me keep everything organized. And now I'm just kind of playing around with the flowers where I want them to go. I didn't want to overwhelm the card, but I wanted to have a nice shock of color. And now I'm going to hide those Easter eggs, which was actually really fun to do. I was thinking my story is that this chicken is laying the eggs, and she's a talented chicken because she is, or a hen, I guess you want to call her, hen, chicken, well, because she can lay color eggs. Isn't that smart of her? Very smart. And perhaps she's actually a rooster because she has those extra bits. But you know what? In my world, it's a hen that's laying the colored eggs. So there's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Like I said, it was super fun to go ahead and hide the eggs around for the Easter hunt. And I tried to get it to look like it had a lot of depth, and that spring chicken set has a cute little ladybug, and I wanted to include that. So I cut a couple of those so I could add a couple of the cute little ladybugs. And now for my sentiments, I am coloring with some matching purples, the V01, 12, and 15. And I just did a little bit of shading on those, and I'm going to just back it with the white because then it matches with the frame, and then the card base that I'm also going to use today. That just ties everything in, I think, nicely. And I will say Sweet Wishes. I really love the dies that have the shadow in the back. And now for my sign, I wanted it to say Egg Hunt. So I'm just going to put that on with a pencil and then go over with my micro pen. And then afterwards, when that dries, I'm going to use my eraser and just remove the pencil lines. And now I'm just going to add a few more shadows with that gel pen. which I think it worked out okay. I said that it was frustrated me sometimes, but it was all right. And now I'm using some Winka Stella to add a little bit of shine to the eggs, flowers, and the sentiment. And to finish off the card, I wanted to add a few little gems. These are cute little iridescent gems that I had in my stash. And now we're just going to adhere our card panel to our card base. And to backtrack for some dimensions, my card panel is 8 3/4 by 3 3/4, and then my card base is 9 by 4. That is, again, my very favorite size of Slimline because I like all the extra real estate that offers. So, thank you so much for crafting with me again today. I will be back with my next project on April 13th, and I will announce the winner for that spring chicken die on that day. So, make sure that you please comment and like below. And again, if you have not subscribed to the CottageCutz channel, please do so. We really appreciate your support, and you will get lots of inspiration with these fabulous dies that they offer. Thank you again. Happy crafting. Take care.